New content creators are wise to look for the best bang for buck options when it comes to production equipment, especially when it comes to finding a quality microphone on a budget. Will the Fifine K688 be the one? My mission is to provide insight and information so that you can make an educated choice by the time you finish watching this video. Let's check it out. Welcome to Creators Tech. I'm LL Mel, and we are going to be checking out the popular Fifine K688 microphone. A special thank you to Fifine for sending out this review unit for an honest and unbiased review. The Fifine K688 is an entry-level microphone at around the $70 range, with some very nice qualities for live streamers and podcasters. So let's check out what's inside the box. You are now listening to this microphone via the XLR connection so that you can see and hear the sound difference between the USB mode and XLR mode. In the box, you will get the microphone with the windscreen. It comes in the shock mount. You get a user manual, an 8-foot USB-C to USB-A cable, both a 3/8 inch and 5/8 inch threaded mount adapter. The physical features are that it comes with a USB output, an XLR output, a 3.5 millimeter headphone output, a capacitive touch mute button, an audio gain knob, an audio headphone volume knob. The body is plastic with some metallic components on it, such as the grill. And it also comes with no stand. It's a dynamic type of microphone with a cardioid polar pattern. The output connection is USB-C on the mic end and USB-A on the computer end, also with an XLR output. The power consumption is of a voltage of 5 plus or minus 0.25 volts. The bit depth and sample rates are 16-bit, 44.1 kilohertz to 48 kilohertz. The frequency response is 50 hertz to 16 kilohertz. Please note, the human ear can detect from 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. The signal to noise ratio is greater than 75 decibels. The sensitivity on this microphone is negative 58, plus 3 or minus 3 decibels. And the shipping weight is 1.1 pounds. As far as setup goes, this microphone is fairly simple. You just simply plug in the USB-C to your PC's USB-A slot. Now, as far as the test gauntlet goes, now keep in mind that the computer's gain setting is set to 75%. And on the microphone, as you are listening to it right now, the gain is set at about 90%. So as far as the noise floor for this microphone, when connected via USB-C, this is the following. I'm going to go ahead and turn up the gain. Okay, I just went ahead and turned the gain back down. Now you probably won't notice much of a difference in noise floor from my regular speaking setting because the setting is already set to 90%. So 75% on the software end on the computer and at about 90% on the physical end here on the back knob gain setting. Now for the proximity effect. I am now speaking directly on the microphone. This is typically the type of distance that you will listen to when somebody is making a voiceover or is speaking on a podcast or a radio show. This is the proximity effect of this microphone. Now I am at a normal 6-inch distance from the microphone, from my mouth to the microphone, and this is the 6-inch distance from the microphone to my mouth. Now I'm sitting at about a 1-foot distance from the microphone. Now I am at about a 3-foot distance from the microphone. Now I'm standing at about a 6-foot distance from the microphone. We're back in front of the microphone. Now we're going to be going around the microphone to check how it picks up off-axis rejection. Now I am directly to the left side of the microphone. Now I am directly on the right side of the microphone. Now I'm speaking directly above the microphone. Now I am speaking directly behind the microphone. Now I am back to speaking directly in front of the microphone. Now we are going to begin with the keyboard rejection test. This is a test where I begin to type on my Cherry MX Brown keyboard and speak simultaneously while we go ahead and check and see how much of the keyboard sound is rejected versus how much of my voice it picks up. So I'm going to furiously be typing away here on my keyboard. This should hopefully simulate a little bit of what a stream might sound like if you're going ahead and be doing some gaming on your keyboard and mouse while you are live streaming. I would like to take this opportunity to remind you to please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. This is an opportunity for you to check out any tips or tricks, or also check out any reviews, or just simply see any showcases of devices that live streamers might be using. I strive to do my best to help my fellow creators out there make informed decisions as to what type of equipment they will get. I know that in my journey, in this long journey of content creation, I could have used all the help I could get when it came to making informed decisions on devices and adapters and everything else that I bought as far as trying to make my production quality better and more improved as the years went on. Sometimes we purchase things that end up not being helpful at all, or sometimes we purchase things that we say, I wish I would have known this sooner. Now we're going to be checking out the sibilants on this microphone. That is the S and sparkly sounds that your voice might make as you speak into the microphone. So a great way to test this is by saying a little rhyme. Sally sells seashells by the seashore. Sally sells seashells by the seashore. Sally sells seashells by the sea floor. Now let's check out the plosives of this microphone. This microphone does have a very thin windscreen up here, and the microphone capsule is actually very high up on the microphone. So this might actually have a little bit of an issue with the plosive rejection. We are about to see. Peter Piper packed a pack of alpacas. Peter Piper packed a pack of alpacas. Peter Piper packed a pack of alpacas who were beatboxing. This microphone also includes a very nifty feature, which is the touch capacitive mute button, so that you can hear how this button mutes, whether there's any noise or not while muting this button, as I hum one constant sound. So here we go. Okay, so that was our gauntlet of sound tests that we put these microphones through. Now, on the other side, I'm going to be editing this video, and then I'm going to be giving you my honest review as to what I heard when it came to all of these tests that I put this K688 microphone through. K688 microphone through. Wow. Well, this microphone is definitely impressive. It's a really good microphone in many respects. However, there are some cons that I think you should know about in case some of these might be deal breakers for you. Personally, for me, they're not deal breakers. It's something that I can live with when it comes to this microphone. It comes with a shock mount. However, it might as well not come with one because the handling noise is not very good on this microphone. If I touch the boom arm, which by the way, this is the Fifine BM88 boom arm, you can hear the noise coming through to your audience despite this having a shock mount. Now, if I touch the actual components, you can hear some of that booming through, not to mention if I touch the actual microphone. I also noticed that when I did the mute test of this microphone, I still heard the action of me hitting the mute button despite it being a capacitive mute button. I can only imagine what it would sound like had it been a physical button here. I could still hear the action of actually pressing down on this capacitive mute button. As you can hear right there, probably if you're wearing headphones, it's not a big deal. It's not a deal breaker. The sound is not that big of a sound. However, there's still something there. And that surprised me when I was going through and checking out some of the sound that was coming out of this microphone. Now, another thing that I noticed with this microphone was that it picks up a lot of room noise. Now, I purposefully placed my computer about 3 feet away. It provides a little bit of room noise so that I can see and hear how much of the ambiance or the fan noise that it actually picks up. In this particular case, it picks up quite a little bit of that fan noise. So if that for you is something that can be a deal breaker, then I might recommend something else for you within this price range. So it picks up a little bit of the room noise. It also depends, really, and this is why it's not such a big deal for me personally, how close you plan on speaking to the mic. So if you're about as close as I am right now, I am a good 2 or 3 inches away from the microphone. So it's giving me that nice clear proximity effect going on. If you're one of these people that speaks a little bit farther away, like back here, 6 inches away, let's say, it's still going to pick up your voice quite clearly. However, it's also going to be picking up a lot more of that ambiance, the background noise, if you will. But for some reason, I thought it on the other hand, it did an excellent job of rejecting keyboard clicks. So when I was running the tests with the keyboard, I thought it did an excellent job of rejecting most of that keyboard noise whenever you're on on a game or on your computer typing away and you're talking to your audience, it doesn't you can kind of hear it, but it doesn't distract from what you're actually saying. So I don't know exactly what's going on there. My theory, my guess is that there's certain frequencies that it's picking up on more than other frequencies. If you like to fiddle around with some of the filters and equalization, then you might want to add a roll off in there for a low pass filter and also a roll off for the high pass filter as well, to take care of some of that ambiance or some of that background noise if it really is going to be a problem for you. Or you might want to consider one of those other microphones that's available as well. Another thing that I noticed while in USB mode is that it does muddy up a little bit of the sibilance. Now, this seems to be a problem with a lot of USB microphones, especially older USB microphones. They're running only on 16 bits, so you have to cut corners with compression sometimes. And a lot of the times where it's most noticeably affected is with the sibilance. It muddies up the sibilance just a little bit. Those S sounds and those high pitch sounds. It just kind of makes them a little bit more compressed, a little bit more shrill, a little bit more muddy, if you will. This is one of those things when reviewing mics that's actually subjective. Some of it can be objective. For example, like the build quality, a lot of it's plastic and it's not going to be dealing very good with drops and heavy duty use. However, if you're the type of person that has it on a boom arm like myself on a desk where it's stationary most of the time, then the build quality is not going to be an issue for you. Personally, I think this is probably the best looking microphone in my opinion. I love the simplicity of it. I love the lines. I love how it kind of mimics the look of a Shure SM7B. However, in addition to mimicking the look, it kind of enhances it with this shock mount and the style. I think it just looks really, really nice. It's one of the best looking microphones on the market out there. So Fifine, excellent job with the engineering of the design for this microphone. I like how the Fifine logo on the sides, it's very subtle. It's not in your face, and this is not an RGB microphone. You do have a little bit of light here to indicate green for when you're not muted and red for when you are muted on the capacitive touch button. However, to me, that's not a problem whatsoever. Here's another aspect of this microphone that I love about it, is that it's flexible. You can use it as both a USB microphone and an XLR microphone. And where this microphone really shines is in XLR mode. In XLR mode, a lot of those problems that I just mentioned with the sound quality seem to go away, at least to my ear. The sibilance is a lot more clearer. It's still kind of sparkly on the high-end sounds. However, on the low end and mid-tones, it comes in pretty flat so that your voice sounds pretty natural for the most part. And those high ends come off just a little sparkly, which brings up the clarity in your voice. This is definitely a good quality for a microphone to have for spoken voice. I don't think I could recommend this microphone if you plan on using it for instrumentation. However, most people that are content creators plan on using these microphones for vocals. And I'm not talking about singing vocals. I'm just talking about spoken word. And this is definitely where this microphone shines, in spoken word in XLR mode. So if you're looking for a budget microphone that is both flexible, that can go in USB mode, or it can use the XLR mode, then this is definitely a nice option to have. The clarity that this microphone comes in when you're using it in XLR mode. Now, I used it with the Fifine mixer, and it did an excellent job. Some of the background rejection seemed to be more pronounced, which means I didn't pick up as much as of the background as I did in USB mode. That might have been also because maybe the preamps were a little bit better. I didn't have to turn up the gain as much as I did in USB mode when I was in XLR mode, so that helps a lot in that department. And as I mentioned already, the sparkly part of the voice kind of just seems to come in a lot clearer, and it doesn't get as muddy. So I would recommend this for somebody that has an XLR setup but wants the flexibility from time to time of being able to take it out and about and just simply plug it in via USB mode. And so this is going to be a nice flexible option for you to have. Somebody with a baritone voice, let's say your voice already has good enough bass in it, so you don't need to be boosting the bass in your voice to make it sound the way you want it to sound. So the bass in this is going to be quite balanced. The mids, for the most part, are going to be quite balanced, and the high end sounds are going to be boosted just a little bit for that little bit of sparkle in your voice. So it's going to be good for game streamers, and also it's going to be good for podcasters, I think, in general. Now, you have to take into consideration the type of voice you have. You have to take into consideration the type of setup you have and the intentions to which you're going to be using this microphone for. It does fall somewhere in the $70 to $80 range, so you might want to look at other options that are available as well and see what suits your voice the best. Personally speaking, if I were to recommend this to somebody that is just starting out and somebody that is planning on growing with this microphone for a long time, I would say it's a good microphone. It's not necessarily the best out there. However, to shell out a few extra dollars, you're going to have to probably shell out an extra $100 for a much better microphone than this one. There are microphones out there somewhere around the same range in quality. They just have different strengths and weaknesses. So this is why I'm producing this video for you, so you can see what the strengths and weaknesses of this microphone are. Fifine also has the AM8 microphone. It falls somewhere around the $55 to $60 range. Excellent microphone. Personally speaking, I prefer the sound signature of that microphone in USB mode. That microphone sounds really good when paired with my voice. But that is subjective. When it comes to the XLR side of things, I think this microphone sounds excellent. It sounds really good. It's a little bit on the dark side. So what do I mean by that? It has a little bit of texture to it, and it picks up the texture in your voice quite nicely. It's actually a little reminiscent of the way the Shure SM7B sounds. So that microphone is legendary, but that microphone will cost you close to $400 once it's all said and done, plus the cloud lifter, plus the setup that you need to be able to run that microphone to its full potential. Whereas this is a very budget friendly option if you want something that sounds similar to that. Obviously, don't quote me on this, but it's not going to sound like that microphone. I'm just saying that for the price, this is probably the closest sounding you're going to get to that microphone. And this is actually one of those mics that punches a little bit higher than its competition when it comes to the sound quality when you're in XLR mode. Now, there's other microphones, like I mentioned before. I will be having other reviews, such as the Elgato Wave microphones, which the Elgato Wave 1 falls actually within the same category as this microphone when it comes to price. However, that one also has strengths and weaknesses that we can compare to this one. For example, the sound quality on this one comes in very nice. However, that one has a lot more software built into it, so it offers more flexibility depending on your use case. So, would I recommend this microphone? Yeah. It really just depends on your use case. It depends on your personal preference. It depends on what you want your sound to be like. As far as ease of use, I think it's very simple to use. You just plug it in. The drivers on your computer, as long as they're up to date, they should be able to pick it up almost instantly. You can do real-time monitoring through your headphones when plugged into the back here. You have one headphone knob here, so you can go ahead and turn up your headphones or turn them down, and you can hear your voice while you're actually speaking through it. You can also go ahead and turn up the gain, so if your voice is not coming in clearly, you can turn it up on the fly while you're in the middle of one of your streams as well. So it offers those really nice physical options while you're going ahead and you're live, instead of having to fiddle around through your computer software to adjust certain things. So it's a thumbs up from me, but take into account the strengths and weaknesses that I have mentioned, so that you can make the right choice for your particular case. I'm LL Mel, and thank you very much for watching this review here on Creators Tech, technology for creators.